Welcome back to my SNAP lessons. All right, so we have our first program, and now I'm going to talk about positions on the stage. If you've had algebra, you probably know about the X and Y axis. And if we go to the Motion tab, and I can click these little bars and make it wider, and I click X position and Y position. Now, you probably remember the number line. If you move the mouse all the way to the left, it's minus 240 is the left-hand edge. And if you move it to the middle, you notice X is getting closer to 0. 0 is the middle. And if you move it to the right, it's plus 240. If you move it to the top, it's plus 180, and the bottom is minus 180. So now let's see what happens when I hit the space key. I'm at minus 58.4. Now I'm at minus 48. So as he goes to the left, he's at minus 88 when he's all the way to the left, or minus 90. When he's at the top, he's minus 58. Oh. Okay, let's look at the Y position. The bottom is minus 69, which means he's lower. So if I move him to this corner, he's all the way to the right and he's all the way to the top. So right is a high number for X, 209, 240, and all the way to the top is 180. So let's make another script. So I'm going to go to Control, and I'm going to drag when space, and then I'm going to pick a letter. Let's say what happens when I hit the letter M. I'm going to create two variables. I'm going to click the orange variable tab, and I'm going to click make a variable, and I'm going to call the first variable X pose for X position. And then I'm going to make another variable. I'm going to say Y pose for Y position. And then I'm going to go to sensing, and I'm going to pick two ask blocks, and I'm going to change it, because in the white you can type in anything. So I'm going to say enter X, and I'm going to say enter Y. I'm going to go back to variables, and I'm going to grab two set blocks, and I'm going to say set X pose and set Y pose. And I'm going to go back to sensing, and I'm going to put answer, because you can drop a variable, one of these blocks, with a rounded left and right. And then I'm going to say go to, I have to go up. And then I'm going to drop X pose into the first hole, and I'm going to drop Y pose into the second hole. So when I hit M, it's going to ask me enter X, and I'm going to type in a number, and it's going to copy my answer into the variable X pose. And I'm going to say enter another number, and it's going to copy my answer into Y pose. And then I'm going to say go to X pose, Y pose. And then I'm going to save it. And then let's go full screen. See these little arrows? When I hit the arrows going out, it makes it a fuller screen. So now when I hit the letter M, he's going to say enter X. So if I want to go to the left, I'm going to say minus 222. And then let's say I want him to go to the bottom. So I'm going to say minus 177. That should put him in the bottom in the left. And let's see what happens. Okay. And then I hit M again. Say I want him to go back to the middle. I'm going to say 0 for X, 0 for Y. And now he's right in the middle. And then let's have him do something a little more interesting. Once he gets to the X and Y that I tell the mouse that I want to go, the mouse is named Tom, I'm going to have him point towards the center, and then I'm going to have him move 100 steps. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go to a bigger screen, and I'm going to type in M, and let's have him go to the right, but only go halfway. So if 240 is all the way to the right, I'm only going to have him go 120 steps to the right. So he's going to go halfway from the middle to the right. And what do I want him to do? Let's have him go to the bottom, but the bottom would be minus 180, but he'll only go minus 150. All right. And he's still pointing the same way. So I hit M again, and I'll have him go 222, which is very near the right, and have him go 177, which is very near the top. All right, so what he did was he went to that position, he pointed toward the center, and then he moved in. But it happened so fast you couldn't see it. So let's go to Control, and so after he goes to the position, he's going to wait 1 second, and then he's going to point toward the center. He's going to wait 1 second again, and then he's going to go 100 steps. So by having him wait, I can slow it down, and you can see what he's doing. So I'm going to save it, and then I don't need these at this point. It's nice to have these when you're working on your program, because it tells you some information, and if your program isn't working, you can look at these numbers and see if you made a mistake. So let's go to variables, And if I uncheck X position and Y pose, they go away. And if I go to the motion tab and uncheck X position and Y position, those will go away too. And now I'll save it. And now I'll go full screen and I'll hit the M, and let's have them go to the bottom corner. So, I mean the bottom left corner. So the bottom, all the way to the bottom is, all the way to the left first, because he's asking X. Minus 240, enter, minus 180, enter. All right, did you see that he went to the position, then he waited 1 second, and then he pointed toward the center, and then he waited a second again, and then he moved 100 steps. So if I hit M again, and let's have him go to the top, but little near the middle. So I'm going to hit M, and if I want him to go just a little bit to the right of middle, I'll say 32, and then if I want him to go to the top, I'll say 155. Now hit enter. He goes there, he points to the middle, and then he goes 100 steps toward the center. So this is the first program, and this gives you practice of understanding the position on the stage. Let's do one more thing. You can also have him say something. So after he moves 100 steps in, he will say hello for 1 second. And he'll say, hello, I like Snap. And we'll save this. And we'll go full screen, hit M, and where do we want him to go? He will go to the left. So left is minus 240. So I'll say minus 200. And then he's going to go toward the top, but not all the way to the top. So if the top is 180, I'll say 140. And then he said, hello, I like Snap for 1 second. That was kind of fast. Let's change it to 2 seconds. And I'll just do a save. And go full screen, hit M. He's asking for X, so where do I want to put him? I want to put him toward the right. And I'll say 100, which is almost halfway to the right, because all the way right is 240, halfway to the right is 120. And then I'll have him go almost to the bottom. I'll say minus 166. He turns around, he goes to the center, he says, hello, I like Snap for 2 seconds. So this is our second program, and you've learned some more about positioning the mouse. And I'll stop this, and I'll see you in the next